So glad to be here with you again. Great to look out on all your faces. Welcome to Unity in Ashland, and I'm Norma Burton, the minister. And this morning I'm excited to have two sets of guests. We've got speaker guests and musician guests, and it's exciting because who the speaker guests are, this is David and his wife and Margaret, and this is their flyer, and they do some really interesting things. But first of all, to say that they used to live here in Ashland, and maybe some of you knew them, I don't know, and they used to be, was it like an assistant minister to Sherry Lady? Yeah. Sherry Lady was the minister before me. I've been here, 13 years now, and Sherry Lady was before that, and that's the era in which David and Margaret lived here, and so pretty exciting that they're back. Is this the first time that you've come back in all this time? Where do you live now, Florida?
South Carolina. South Carolina.
South Carolina, wow, that's a beautiful spot to be from. Okay, so here's one interesting bit of fact about David. In 2009, he was hired by the University of South Carolina baseball team to be their motivational and Psych-k coach. And in 2010 and 2011, they won the national championship. So that was cool. So Psych-k, how many have heard about what Psych-k is? Some of you have. So you'll be finding out more about it. They're also having a workshop too. When is it again?
Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at the Geos Building Community.
Okay, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at the Geos Community Building. That used to be called Headwaters. You know, it's right across on 4th Street, right across from the Unitarian Church. We've had a lot of workshops there. It's a really nice space. So 6 o'clock tomorrow night, you can learn more about Psych-k. It's about retraining the brain. So that should be great. And today they're leading us in the first part of our service into a spiritual experience with meditation and their talk. And so glad to have you here. And then in the second part of the service, we're so blessed to have Sue Ellen and Jeremy. And Sue Ellen is a longtime friend of Anya and has visited here before doing her harp music and has been in our service, or cello music, sorry, and been in our service. And so we've been looking for a time when they could come, and it's very exciting to have them here too. Just beautiful, beautiful music. So we have a real treat with that combination this morning. So thank you all for being here. And I just wonder if there's anybody here for the first time. Anybody? Well, Margie, yes. Margie is a longtime friend of mine and of Kim's from years back in Tulsa. And it's so great to have her come up and visit, spending time with our friend Kim. And who else raised their hand?
Over here.
Hi. Yeah, Mary Sue?
Yeah.
Mary Sue Comstock. Are you from Ashland, or where are you from?
Taos, New Mexico.
Taos, New Mexico. Oh, welcome. Oh, you did? Oh, great. Great. Well, we're glad to have you here today. And somebody back there raised your hand? No? Anybody else? We'll stay afterwards because we have refreshments, and it's a good time to talk more deeply and get to know one another. So. Are there any kids, little kids under age 12 here this morning? I don't see any. They might.
I feel like I'm under.
There's two. Okay, good. So we have our wonderful teachers, and do you want to come forward and have a blessing? We don't have anybody who knows that. So Donna, you're here. You could help us sing to them. Usually we sing The Face of God.
I invite you to gently close your eyes and just take in a deep, deep breath, a sacred and holy breath. I call forth the infilling of the divine light of Spirit. I call forth a perfect circle of light and love to surround you. I call forth the holy healing breath of divine to breathe within you. And I call forth the power of divine Spirit to move through you now into your heart of hearts, to bathe your heart in the power of love. and to pour forth from your heart like a river of healing light, touching each and every cell, renewing, restoring, and regenerating as it moves through you and around you in a halo of healing light. Imagine yourself in a beautiful sanctuary within your heart called the garden of your heart. And you're surrounded in all the beauties of nature, plants and trees and multicolored flowers in full bloom. And as you walk through the garden of your heart, all of nature bows at your feet to honor who you are on your path. And this blesses you. And you take that blessing into every cell of your being. And you feel it. And you know that you are loved as you walk through the garden of your heart. And you notice a beautiful glowing light that is approaching you on the path. And out of the light steps a host of magnificent healing angels that have come to greet you on your path. And they walk right up to you and look into your eyes, and you can feel their warmth and their loving blessings. And as you look back into their eyes, you notice the reflection in their eyes is that of you. And you are reminded that there is no separation. And one by one, each angel embraces you heart to heart and whisper words of blessing into your ears that you may know how loved and precious that you are. They lightly stroke your hair, offering you that magnificent, healing, angelic touch. They tell you that you are precious and loved, that they are always with you and always will be. They tell you that your loving thoughts, your holy visions are powerful healing medicine upon our planet right now and are much, much needed. And they hold you, and you allow yourself to be held by these beloved ones that absolutely adore you exactly as you are. There's nothing that you have to do, nothing to prove to be loved by the Holy Ones. And they take your hands and walk back along the path with you. And you know that you've come home. And the angels are always there on your journey. And they ask you to bring the thought of a beloved in your life that might be in need of your loving thoughts, your holy visions, and to send that thought heart to heart to this beloved one, knowing that all loving thoughts are received and will bless this one. So do that now. And know that you have reached out and touched another today and made an important difference in their lives. Now take a deep, deep divine breath and find yourself walking back into this room. And slowly begin to open your eyes, and as you do, take note of how you're feeling. Take note of the energy that is moving through you and around you. Take note that this room is filled with the heavenly presence, and that presence is with you every step of the way. May the divine bless you on your journey. May it be one of peace. Amen. Our women and our children. And now my wife Margaret, who is the minister of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina Unity, will begin the talk.
Thought we already begun. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see all of you, and I can add again to that sentence. Some of you I saw way back in the way back. So Ashland is a very inspiring place for us. I don't have to tell you that. We live in South Carolina, so it's really great to be in a place where it's shopping cart. We're hearing conversations about awakening consciousness, and we're hearing conversations about healing and renewal and peace. And so we're here to be rejuvenated and lifted up. And we started out at Eugene Unity, so same thing there. You know, we love the consciousness here. And when we left here in '03, we didn't leave because we didn't love it. We left because it was time to go home and be support people for our parents and their transition time. Then the grandbabies started coming, and then we couldn't leave. So I bring you greetings from Unity of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And Ashland is a very significant place for us because we finished our book here first. We were inspired to write it. We finished it here. We published it here. And I'd like to share a story with you about that book. I put something in that book. I wrote it for everybody to read about my family history, which included my grandfather, who rode with the Ku Klux Klan. And it was the family shame. Anybody here ever have to deal with your generational pattern of shame? And if you didn't raise your hand, then you're not telling the truth. All of our generations had patterning that were not about the awakening consciousness, so we paused to give thanks for the ancestors, the fathers. Blessed be on Father's Day, thank you. And we want to call in the generous spirit of forgiveness and healing for all of the souls of our fathers, our grandfathers, those whose shoulders we stand on, right? I wrote that in the book. It was a big step for me because, you know, when we speak truth into the pattern that wants to be healed, it takes some courage, at least it did for me. And I put it in the book. So that was back in '02. Now I'm going to fast forward with you to South Carolina. We never meant to return to the Southeast. We thought when we left the consciousness of the Southeast, we wouldn't return. But have you found that Spirit calls you to the places where your healing presence can be most transformative, right? So here we are in South Carolina, and the Charleston shooting happens. You may have heard about that. So I was invited to speak at some prayer vigils for the 9 people who were killed, and also for the shooter. And in this prayer vigil, I spoke several times in the AME churches. Do you know the AME church? It stands for African Methodist Episcopal. After the Civil War, the African Americans still could not worship in safety, so they created their own churches. And they are primarily African American. So I was speaking as one of the clergy who were invited to those prayer vigils. I'm sharing this story with you because you and I, as facilitators of awakening consciousness, will be called on more and more to speak healing and transformative truth in the place where it most needs to be spoken. So with this sea of black faces, I diverged from my planned remarks because when Spirit seizes us to speak, I can't hear anything else other than what I'm supposed to say. Yeah. So, to this sea of black faces, I said, my ancestors say to your ancestors, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You will recognize that as the Ho'oponopono prayer from ancient Hawaiian spirituality. In that moment, everything went quiet. And then I saw a sea of black faces. They leapt to their feet, applauding, saying, "Finally." We never know how much what we have to speak is essential to the transformation and healing for another soul. The clergy on the podium leapt up and embraced me and said, "Thank you, we've been waiting to hear those words for hundreds of years." So we take a deep breath. I'm here to tell you something you already know, but I want to say it out loud because we need to be saying this to each other every single day. We are facilitators of awakening consciousness. That's what we are. And we're also laboratories for awakening consciousness. I don't know about you, but I am called to do the deepest work now, and I thought I'd already done my deepest work. With all this going on in the world, I will collapse into the abyss of darkness if I do not do my inner work at a level that I never thought I'd be doing it. I thought I was done with the hardest part. So here we are at the time of the great shift. We knew it was coming, didn't we? Haven't we been knowing it for thousands of years? We knew it was coming. But I said to David a few days ago, but we didn't know it was going to be this wacko. That's a professional term. So here we are. And my main message to you in this time of shift is it's the basic Girl Scout motto that I learned as a kid: be prepared. Keep staying caught up with your personal work. Nobody can do that for you but you. And be prepared to speak your healing words and your healing truth into the moment where those words most need to be heard. For me, it had to do with the generational patterning of shame and anger. Now, gratefully, my grandfather grew out of that consciousness and was a beloved grandfather when I knew him. But our human species requires that when you have the significant healing, transformative truth to speak in the most powerful moment that it wants to be spoken, it's up to you to follow through. And it may not be easy. So after I spoke that, people gathering outside shaking hands, 3 significant politicians in our community would not even look in my eyes. So there will be people who will be upset with you for speaking healing truth where it most wants to be spoken. That's okay. So let's take another deep breath. I invite you through the rest of this service, as David speaks, as the wonderful, beautiful healing music comes to us, that you do a sacred inquiry within your own heart. What is it that I am called to stand for and speak of in this moment where I am a facilitator of awakening consciousness? What is it that most wants to be spoken through each one of us? Namaste.
How many of you would say you're having quantum shifts happen in your own life right now? And it's pretty obvious to see the shifts that are happening on the planet. Does anybody know why this is happening? Well, I know. It's because shift happens. Now, what is a shift? A shift is a change. It's something that comes our way that we get to deal with on a regular basis. And there's 2 different ways to deal with it. We can deal with shifts or change egoically, which means we would fight, run, resist, be afraid of, not understand, not glean the wisdom of the circumstance, or we could embrace the shift and be open to learn from it, which is what our heart would do. And we get to make a choice every single time one of those shifts come our way. And they're coming right and left now. But our mission, if we choose to accept it, is to be a high holy vision holder on this planet. To hold the holy vision and to embrace what comes our way so that we can learn from it. Because every single thing that comes our way, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, is a messenger bringing us a message of something to learn. If we deal with the messenger with our ego, with upset and anger and fear, guess what we're doing? We're contributing to the difficulty in the world because we're all energetically connected. And right now, I'm sure for a lot of you, it's not always easy to embrace the messenger. It isn't. But if we do that, we are contributing to the solution of peace and holiness on the planet. So it's important that we remember that as much as we can every single day. About seven or 8 years ago, I was speaking at a church in Louisville, Kentucky, a Unity church. And I was talking about the power of our thoughts and our belief systems in what we create on this planet and how we contribute to the holiness. And after I got done talking, this guy comes up to me and he says, you know, with what you're talking about, what you believe in, have you heard about this technique called Psych-k, psychological kinesiology? He said, this would be really something very important to you to find out about. And I said, well, I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it. He said, well, check this out. And so I did. I looked it up on the computer. And basically what it is subconscious programming and reprogramming. Putting belief systems into the subconscious, which then creates a behavior to go along with the belief systems. I was really impressed, but I was even more impressed when I found out that two of my heroes were really involved with talking about subconscious programming, Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton. And they talk a lot about Psych-k, so I thought, well, I'm going to check this out. So I decided to become trained in it. And in my very first training, the facilitator of the Psych-k said, is there anybody here in the audience that's had an experience that was really difficult for you, and you weren't able to heal it or understand what it was really all about? And I raised my hand. And I said, yes. I was living in Daytona Beach, Florida at the time, and I was playing sports, and I got hit on the back of the neck and knocked out. And when I came to, I had an excruciating headache, and the pain radiated down my neck and my back, and they would spasm, and I would be in agony. And I tried every known therapy you could ever imagine to heal it, and nothing worked. And every time I got in my car to go do a talk or workshop, after driving for about an hour, I would get a big headache. It would radiate, the pain would radiate down my neck and my back, and I would be in agony by the time I got to do my work. And I tried for weeks, then months, and literally years to heal this, and nothing would work. And I said, it's really worn me out. I have to be able to find the solution to this because I can't keep going like this. And so the facilitator of the Psych-k said, let's take you back to the actual time of trauma, when you got hurt, when you got knocked out. And let's come up with the belief system that you took on in your subconscious mind that created the pain that reenacted itself every time you got in that car to go do a talk or workshop. And so she took me back to the actual time of trauma. And we together came up with the belief system that I took on. I'm not proud of it. Some of you will relate to this. But I was one of those old-fashioned athletes that played sports to the hilt with the belief, no pain, no gain. I was the poster child for that. Unfortunately, that belief was so deeply embedded in my subconscious mind, unbeknownst to my conscious mind, that every time I got in that car to go do a talk and workshop and wanted to be successful, do a good job, that belief would rear up, and its message to me through the pain was, David, you can't do anything and be successful without creating pain. Wow. When I got that, when the light went on, I realized why I could never heal that program. I had to understand what I was doing to myself, and I wasn't getting it at all. So together, what we did with the Psych-k technique, we literally implanted into my subconscious mind a new positive, productive belief. And this was the belief. Everything that I do, I will feel great, my energy will be flowing, and I will be highly successful. Very different belief system than no pain, no gain. This was a hard belief system. The no pain, no gain was an egoic belief system. We put that technique directly into the subconscious mind with the Psych-k technique, and I'm here to tell you, after years of dealing with that pain, in 5 minutes, that pain was gone with the new belief and has never come back. So this was one of the most profound things that's ever happened to me in my life, because what I realized from this experience was how we create our reality. We were not taught this as a kid. We can create one of two different realities for ourselves with our thoughts and beliefs. We can create an egoic reality when the ego, which is based on fear and survival and upset and judgment, we can create that belief system when the ego implants a belief into the subconscious and it accepts it as a truth. We then send that belief system out to the universe, which I call the big genie. And the big genie is very neutral. The universe interacts with our belief systems. And whatever we send to it, it will send back to us experiences to match the belief that we sent to us, to it. So if we're sending egoic, self-defeating beliefs to the universe, we're going to bring back survival-based, self-defeating experiences to ourselves. By the same token, if we implant positive, productive beliefs from our heart into the subconscious mind, and the subconscious accepts those beliefs as truth, it will send that to the universe, and the universe will say, so be it, and send us positive and productive experiences. This is how we create our reality. And that was a profound understanding for me. And once we understand how we create reality, we can no longer blame anything on anyone else. We can't do that. Because we create our own reality, either egoically or heart-wise. Once we learn that, we become more responsible for creating a positive, productive reality. Not just for ourselves, but for those around us and for the planet itself. Because everything is energetically connected. Our thoughts can affect those around us. They can either strengthen those around us or weaken those around us. They can either strengthen the planet and make it a more holy place to live, or they can weaken it and make it a more fearful place to live. Now, when you look out there on the planet right now, there's a lot of fear going on. So it's vitally important we pay heed to our words, thoughts, and actions every single day. So we're contributing to the holiness and the healing of the planet, and not to the detriment of the planet. I consider ourselves at a crossroads, a major crossroads. This is a time, maybe more than ever before, that we really pay heed to our words, thoughts, and actions. That we think holy thoughts, that we do holy acts, that we embrace one another, that we display our love and our affection for each other instead of being upset and angry and hateful. This is really important. Really important. We can turn things around. It's not too late. We can do that. I am convinced, I've been in counseling, working with counseling a good portion of my life. And when I got involved with Psych-k, one of the things that I realized is that the divine is bringing to us certain things that help to speed up the process of healing so we can be in our heart a whole lot more than our ego. And I think Psych-k is one of those things, because they call it the quick change activator. It really helps to change our belief systems very quickly, which will change our reality. So the more we live in our heart, the more positive things happen for us, the more energetically we're connected with everyone and the planet itself, and the more healing happens. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a really powerful workshop at the Geos building, 6 o'clock in the community room. In that workshop, we're going to do some really powerful healing. That's what our ministry is all about. In addition to that, we're going to, every person that comes to that workshop, we will put a positive belief directly into your subconscious of whatever you choose, whatever you want to happen in your life, and have your subconscious accept that to create that behavior. I've been working with this for a number of years. I've seen amazing things happen with people, because this is how we create our reality. And one of our missions is to create a reality of peace and holiness on this planet. And it comes from the heart. Every single moment that you're in your heart is another potential moment of implanting a positive belief into your subconscious mind and creating a positive reality for yourself. By the same token, every single moment that you're in your ego, which is based on fear, survival, separation, judgment, criticism, control, manipulation, protection, and defense, we all have that, is another potential moment of implanting into your subconscious mind a self-defeating belief and creating that reality. So our mission is to be in our hearts as much as possible. One of the things the divine said is that we can do all of the things that he did and even greater. I am convinced, in all the work that I've done, that the way that we actually create that is to have the heart and the subconscious mind in perfect synchronicity. That makes everything and anything possible. Anything, including miracles. This is what we're going to do tomorrow night. Put that belief into your subconscious mind, whatever you choose. It's an amazing technique. Because one of our biggest dreams is to create peace on the planet. I know the opposite of peace. I spent a year in Vietnam. Didn't want to be there, but I was put there. I know what war is all about. It is not the answer, never will be the answer. Holiness, divine peace is the answer. And that's my biggest dream. Because of that, we have created 6 different really powerful CDs, and they're back there on our table, that literally implant into your subconscious mind positive beliefs on 6 different subjects. They're really powerful. They help to keep you in your heart as much as possible and to send peace and love and holiness out on the planet. They also help you to feel more abundant, more loved, more blessed, more creative in your life. Please see us afterwards about that, because you are Divine's greatest dream come true. And right now, Divine is knocking on our door, saying, are we willing to be high holy vision holders and contribute to the healing and the blessing of this planet? And together we can do it. Nothing will stop us. God bless you.
Thank you.
Also tomorrow, at a friend of ours' house, Alyssa Vaccaro, we are going to do private counseling and healing and Psych-k sessions. And so think about that. We can really help you move the energy into your heart and create what you desire in your life. The more joy that we have, the more joy is on the planet. So if that could be of assistance, see us after the service. Divine, thank you very much.
As we move into our musical part now, I wanted to pause to have a moment of prayer, because I know that many of you have come here today with things that are heavy on your hearts and people that you care about that are going through difficult times. And so if you wouldn't mind just speaking out some of these things that are on your heart for prayer, and we'll go into a moment of prayer together about these things. So I want to bring up Ajane about your situation of not feeling well, and she has 3 kitty cats that need taking care of. Well, she has to go into the hospital for a little while, so that's one of the things we want to pray about and see that the need being met.
The fire in London,
Oh my goodness, yes, the fire in that London Tower.
love to all the people.
Janice from England, and you know, they're just on our hearts. All the stories that I've been hearing about the people suffering in the big fire tower. What else?
Our friend Kim, sending her some healing.
Yes, our friend Kim. She's been such a valiant fighter for her life and big challenges ahead.
All the people who have been displaced by the war.
Yes, all the people displaced by the war.
Can they have a war on drugs too, for that?
Yes, yes, there's such an opioid crisis going on.
So my dad originally broke his femur. It
Ah,
was a miracle.
broken femur bone in
Yeah,
his
it's not
dad.
a hip.
Wow,
And my mom got a concussion the same day.
wow. Concussion and dad broke his femur the same day.
Hard battle.
Yeah.
So
You hurt both at the same
pray for their
time.
healing. Pray for them to be calm, be happy.
It's a beautiful prayer for them to be calm, peaceful, and heal gracefully.
And some kindness and support for Prudence, who is the wife of Jan Madsen.
Yes, you all hear that.
Trauma.
Kindness and support for Prudence as she handles the big trauma of Jan passing.
Prayers for the wounded masculine.
Prayers for the wounded masculine.
Prayers for the...
Eric is here with us, everybody, from, you know, that he moved away about a year ago, and I'm so glad that you're back, Eric. So tell us what's on your heart.
Just prayers for the mother of my children. She has a brain tumor.
She has a brain tumor. She's only 50 years old, and Eric's back up here to help with that and with his children. So I'm so glad you're here today.
Prayers for all of the animals who suffer
Yes.
and are slaughtered because people want the taste of meat, chickens, pigs, fish. And prayers for the omnivores who lack compassion for other sentient beings.
Mhm. Thank you, everybody. So let's close our eyes, if you will, and ground yourself in your seat there and take a deep breath. And imagine your hands, your arms, gathering these prayers up, gathering all of these prayers up that you've just heard right now, gathering them into your heart, into our hearts. Oh, Great Spirit, we come to you today, standing in your waterfalls of blessing, standing in your presence that is a presence of all love. The creativity that created this universe has the answers to our situations. We know that life here on planet Earth is not easy, that there's a lot of challenges that we face, and that our bodies do get hurt and things happen. We're fragile. Animals' lives are hurt. So many painful things do happen to us while we're here, and yet, in every moment, we can be in your presence. The presence of tremendous love that's beyond our wildest imagination. And so right now we call on that love to come and do the right thing. Help with each one of these situations in ways that we end up calling miraculous. So picture your situation that you've brought up, or some that you've heard mentioned here just now. Bring them to your mind right now. And we do proclaim that the God of this universe, the God, Goddess of this time, space, reality that we live in, is able to bring healing, is able to bring wholeness, even if the body is not healed, is able to bring wholeness, is able to bring healing to situations, is able to bring healing emotionally, So we proclaim this right now, that there is no lack in the ability of Spirit to bring through what needs to come through in each of these situations. And we deny that there are any powers on this planet that have any control over these situations in a negative way. Because we know in our own lives and through every cell of our being that there is a tremendous healing power of love that is flowing in nature, in every cell of our beings, and in our consciousness. And we call forth right now in this group, this powerful group of prayer warriors, we call forth the healing energy that is needed in each of these situations, and we see golden light, however you want to picture it, but a flow of energy that's warm and healing and powerful, flowing in each of these people's lives, in each of these groups of people, in these animals' lives, and in our whole nation, and in this whole world. There's so much healing energy available, and like our wonderful speaker said, it flows through us. It flows through us right now in this moment. So one more time now, bring to mind these beings that you've come here today with a need on your heart. Bring them to mind. And we see the wonderful, powerful, loving presence of Spirit ministering to them right now. And so it is. And say with me, and so it is.
And so it
So
is.
it will be done. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And now we're so blessed to be bathed in healing energy through this wonderful music of Sue Ellen and Jim. Thanks. And Anya's starting it off with a poem.
Good morning. Good morning. These are words of blessing from Jan Richardson, Circle of Grace. Blessing when the world is ending. Look, the world is always ending somewhere. Somewhere the sun has come crashing down. Somewhere it has gone completely dark. Somewhere it has ended with the gun, the knife, the fist. Somewhere it has ended with a slammed door, a shattering hope. Somewhere it has ended with the utter quiet that follows the news from the phone, the television, the hospital room. Somewhere it has ended with a tenderness that will break your heart. But listen, this blessing means to be anything but morose. It does not come to cause despair. It is here simply because there is nothing a blessing is better suited for than an ending. Nothing that cries out more for a blessing than when a world is falling apart. This blessing will not fix you, will not mend you, will not give you false comfort. It will not talk to you about one door opening, then another one closing. It will simply sit beside you among the shards and gently turn your face toward the direction from which the light will come, gathering itself about you as the world begins again.
Thank you for inviting us here. My name is Sue Ellen, this is Jeremy. We came from California to be with you today.
Use the microphone, please.
Did you hear what I said before? No. You didn't. So did you? I'm Sue Ellen. This is Jeremy. We've come from the Bay Area to be here. Our friend Anya, she is a sister of mine for many years, and I've had the great pleasure and honor to participate in services here at Unity and felt very grateful that we could come back and be with all of you. And certainly we thank you both for giving the introduction, which is a perfect entree into the music. This music that is about to occur is actually improvised music. It is music in the moment, as will be our presentation this evening as well at Geo's. We're going to do an extended sound journey at Geo's this evening. But while we're here, we're tuning into the energy of the moment, into your energy, and we're making that audible, and we're offering that up for the healing of all. So thank you for participating, and during this time, taking these intentions and allowing them to rise up on the wings of the music. Thank you.
So we invite you to close your eyes if it's comfortable with you. And take a deep breath in. As we start this journey, it's a good time to send an intention, a prayer. Music has a tremendous power to vibrate things. Let's use it to bring what is most needed in our life right now.
Rumi says,
I profess the religion of love.
Turn the mic.
Ruby says, I profess the religion of love. Love is my religion and my faith. My mother is love. My father is love. My prophet is love. My God is love. I am a child of love. I have come only to speak of love. I am a child of God. I have come only to speak of love.
We have stepped into heaven.
We're already here. We're already here. You're already here.
We're already here.
Yep.
It's just a matter of realizing it, right?
Heaven on earth.
And sometimes a little music like that helps us to remember who we are, why we're here. So, and of this world and of our nation, that beauty is behind us, and beauty is before us, and beauty is beneath us, and beauty is above us, and beauty surrounds us on all sides. Indeed, we walk in the beauty way. Beauty fills us, our minds, our hearts. We are beauty. And indeed, all is created in beauty. So it is. Sweet Spirit, may the meditations of our hearts, the words that have been spoken here today, the thoughts we've had in our minds, and the beautiful music be acceptable in thy sight, our beloved. Amen. And we